We are hardwired. You, me, all of us, any of us that works in sales, we are hardwired for self-sabotage. We are hardwired to keep ourselves making a certain level of income right now. I want you guys to close your eyes and think of, okay, how much money are you making right now? Got it. I got my number in my head. You've got your number in your head. How much money would you like to be making? Got it. Now here's the thing, to bridge that gap between what you're making right now and what you want to make, it's not just about getting the skill sets. It's not just about doing more work. It's also about breaking this kind of mental hardwire that you have for, let's just call it self-sabotage. As human beings, we're set to kind of be at a certain level. And let me give you an example of how we sabotage ourselves. And then I'm going to open it up for you guys. I want you guys to be thinking of ways, either you do this yourself, I'd appreciate the honesty, or ways that other sales reps self-sabotage themselves. But let me read you, this is from last Friday. I got an email from Blake Bauer at 7:56 a.m. Hey Matt, I was just looking for some cool e-learning companies and I really like your work. I'm reaching out because we actually help e-learning companies like yours increase their monthly revenue 30 to 70% within 2 to 3 months. Is this something you'd be interested in? Thanks, Blake. No email, no phone number, just a PS. PS, you don't pay if we don't increase your revenue. All right, so I wrote back to Blake at 8:16 a.m. So 18 minutes later, I wrote back to Blake. Blake, my mobile is 720-660-3202 with my signature bar that has the corporate number, my office number, my mobile number, and my email address. Blake responded back to me 26 hours later, the next day, Friday, 9:24 a.m. Matt, thanks for getting back to me. Would you be open to the idea of a quick Zoom call sometime next week? By the way, this is Friday, so that I can explain this in the best way possible for you. If yes, how's Tuesday, 4:15 Eastern Time? Or you can also pick a time that works best for me using this link to my Calendly. What do you guys think I did with Blake? Did I respond? Absolutely I didn't. Because Blake is locked in to whatever money Blake thinks Blake should be making, and Blake's not trying to take his career to the next level. He literally reached out to the CEO of a company. I gave him my mobile phone number, to which anybody that was trying to expand their business would pick up the phone and call that person. Instead, he waits 24 hours and then makes it difficult for me to buy from him. What if I just wanted to give Blake my Amex card? It has an unlimited balance on it. Man, I want to grow my revenue by 70%. Here's my Amex. What are you guys going to charge? $25,000 a month. Great, put it on there. He didn't give himself that opportunity. Instead, he waits 24 hours and then wants us to have a meeting. Then we got to have a Zoom. I got to pick something on this Calendly. I've got to do all of this work to buy from Blake. Okay, and it's not just crappy emails where we self-sabotage ourselves. Let me give you a few of my ideas, and then I'm curious to hear a few of your ideas of how we as salespeople literally hold ourselves back. It's not the economy, it's not the competition, it's not our pricing, it's us. We're doing this to ourselves. Blake is doing this to Blake's self. He cost himself a deal. Okay, no outgoing voicemail. I bet if I had Blake's number, which he didn't give me, and I called it, it would be like, you've reached 555-555-5555. We don't even take the time. There's people on this call right now that haven't even taken the time to listen to their voicemail that they have recorded that everybody that wants to give them money is going to hear. And I don't want to hear any more of this bullshit of, well, I don't do that because I don't want telemarketers knowing who I am. Well, then you don't want money from people trying to give you money either. By the way, the telemarketers already know who you are. Record a professional outgoing voicemail. You've reached Matt. Your call is very important to me. Please leave a message or send a text on how I can best respond, and that's exactly what I'll do. If Blake had given me his number and had something like that, I'd be like, wow, this guy is professional. I want to do business with them. Or here's another one. I called 3 people today. Their voicemail was full. How is it that you expect to be in sales and you haven't even checked to see if your voicemail's full? Lazy ass emails, like the one Blake just did. Here's a link to my Calendly. I guarantee you to work with Blake costs no less than $10,000 a month. And now I also have to do the work of finding a link on his calendar to talk to him when I gave him my mobile and said, call me. No response, crickets, okay? We make it hard for people to buy from us. Here's another way we make it hard. Zero networking. Y'all just do your normal business, send your normal emails, respond to your leads, but when you're out and about in your personal life, you're not getting yourself out of obscurity, letting people know who you are. I guarantee you Blake is not going to a party tonight and letting people know, hey, I work with coaching companies and I can help them increase their revenue by about 70%. I'm not sure if it's for you guys, but if you ever know any coaching companies, I'd love to talk to them along those same lines. Zero follow-up, zero asking for referrals. We don't train. Okay, you guys are training, so you don't fall into this category. You're on this call right now, but nobody in sales besides you guys is going, hey, I'm going to spend 10 minutes today and figure out how to prospect. I'm going to figure out how to negotiate. We blame everybody but ourselves. We can't do that. If I'm not making the money I need to make, that's on me. It's not on my company. It's not on my people. It's not on the ad campaign that I bought from Blake, which I'm not going to buy from Blake because he never called me back. It's not on anybody but ourselves. We've got no system for closing. You guys do because you're on Easton University. We've got no system for follow-up. You guys do because you're on Easton University. I hope you're going into the portal and practicing this stuff. We don't give people our phone numbers. Blake didn't even give oh, calling is dead. Yeah, because nobody's giving out their phone number anymore. You guys think that you're going to close 100K worth of deals by sending email after email after email back and forth. Just pick up the phone. Hey, Adam, sent you an email calling to see if it makes sense to get your team on Easton University. Okay? You guys, we got to do better with this. We don't know how to lock in a meeting. You know how Blake could have locked in that meeting? Pretty simple. All Blake would have had to do, perfect, sounds great. Why don't we do this? I'm sending you a link to an invitation today at 10 a.m. If that time works for you, simply hit accept. If not, feel free to schedule another time. Don't send somebody a link to your Calendly. That's not what that program is good for. That program is good to have that sitting there passively on your website so that somebody that you're not already talking with can book a time to talk to you. If you're communicating with somebody over the phone or email, it's your job to send out that invite. We don't organize our day. We don't track our activities. If you guys can just simply say, these are the amount of calls that I'm going to make every day, and use a sheet to check off. Here's all the calls I've made. I've done that. Here's my follow-up that I need to do. I've done that. Here's my 10 minutes of training. I've done that. Here's my 10 minutes on LinkedIn, networking. Boom, I've done that. If you can just simply track the things that you're doing every single day, you're going to get a lot more results. We don't know how to negotiate. Hey, can I get 10% off on this? No. Right? Can I get 10% off on this? Oh, hold on. Let me check. Let me see if we can do that for you. That's the wrong way to negotiate. A polite no is the best way. Well, I really need 10%. Well, you've had the pricing for 3 weeks, Blake. What's changed? Well, now we're ready to do it. Got it, but what would you like to remove from the proposal? Well, nothing. We need all of that. Why do you need that? Because we want to grow our revenue by 70%. Got it? And I think I remember you guys were doing about $10 million a year right now. Yeah, that's the number. So we're going to be adding $7 million in top line revenue to your business every year when we get this thing initiated, and we're asking for $10,000 a month. Does it make sense to get going so we don't continue to lose another $350,000 a month? Yeah, I guess it does. We don't know how to negotiate. We don't know how to stay calm. We don't know how to stay collected. We don't know how to add value when we speak to our prospects. Every time you guys have a conversation with your prospect, you should be adding value. Here's something that I'm seeing. Here's 2 things you can do whether you work with me or not. I realize you guys are working with our competitor. Have you thought about this, this, and this? Next time you talk to them, why don't you ask them if they can help you add these 3 things to your account? Typically, I've seen that they're able to do that for their customers. Add value, don't just sell. Before we get to Matt's question, does anybody have anything you want to add to this list of how we self-sabotage? Feel free to unmute yourself.
not following up enough with people. I had a client, I did an $18 million open house in January, followed up, no response. The seventh time, he says, "Oh, sorry, I'm out of the country. We'll connect to you when I get back."
Boom. And that's, you bring such a great point, and we talk about this in the eastonuniversity.com portal. What does it mean when your prospects don't call you back? It means nothing. Real estate's a perfect example of that, right? I had brokers that I was working with the last time we bought a house, and I also had a wife that was pregnant. I was a jerk. I didn't follow up. I'm sorry. It's not my job to follow up. But 3 of the 4 that I was working with, 2 of them never followed up with me. 1 of them tried to guilt trip me. And they sent me this, "I don't know if you're dead or not," which when I'm in the middle of having a pregnant wife, I don't want to hear messages like, "I don't know if you're dead or not." Okay, I don't want to hear that. I don't need that in my day. But 1 of them was skillful enough and just, to your point, just kept following up. I didn't respond back to that person for 4 months. Now, I wasn't out of the country. I was dealing with a pregnancy, but it was like, boom, picked up right where we left off with the 1 single person that didn't guilt trip me and had continued to follow up. Follow up is simple. Just remember what you wanted them to do the last time you spoke. Log that in your CRM. Schedule a Zoom call. Sign the contract. And then just say, "Hey, Russell, it's Matt Easton with Easton University. Calling to see if it makes sense to get that Zoom call scheduled. I'm on my mobile, 720-660-3202. Notice what I didn't say. "Hey, Russell, haven't heard from you in 3 months, buddy. Are you dead? Are you drowned? Could you just let me know? Do you not want to talk to me anymore? I would just really like to hear from you." Don't do any of that. Great point on the follow-up. Anybody else got anything?
Hey, Matt.
Yo.
Ralph.
Ralph, what's up?
Here's one that I actually just talked to somebody about yesterday. We tend to make the decision for the client. We won't do that. We say no for them, so we won't pitch as much money. We won't pitch a certain product. And, oh, they won't be ready at this time, rather than just going in and finding out when will they do that.
Yeah.
What is the ideal situation for them?
That's such a great point, Ralph. And I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad about yourself on this call. But I am trying to just make you realize there's certain things hardwired into our brain. One is what we talked about earlier. We want to be comfortable. It's really hard for us mentally to break out of, okay, I'm making $100,000 a year right now. I want to make $500,000, right? We say we want that, but it's hard for us to actually get comfortable with that amount because we don't feel like we deserve it. The other thing, what Ralph just said, is we get nervous, and human beings, what you have to remember is we're pessimistic by nature. I guarantee you, for every deal that you really are this far apart on, there's a bunch, probably 90% of them, where you're this close and you're the one labeling that it didn't happen. I used to have, my wife's a professional model, right? And when we first started dating, I was like, man, you must have gotten a lot of offers from guys all the time. And she's like, no. She's like, frankly, my roommate would get asked out 10 times more than I would. Because most people close that deal. Oh, there's no way she would talk to me. Right? And I'm like, well, why'd you go out with me? She's like, because you asked, right? And I was hungry. Dinner sounded good. We do exactly what Ralph said. And where Ralph runs into this as a manager, and if you're a manager, we have to take note of this in our calls of when somebody says, oh, that deal's not going to close, you have to say, okay, well, what were the specific things that they said to you as to why it wouldn't? Well, it just wouldn't. Well, why not? Well, because they haven't gotten back to me. Does that mean the deal's not going to close? We have to make sure that we are staying positive. And like Ralph said, we're not closing the deal for ourselves. Because if we give up on these things, there's no way we'll ever win, right? We have to, A, make it easy for people to buy from us, and B, not give up. And C, stop putting our own preconceived notions on, is this person going to buy? Are they wasting my time? And just follow the process. That was a great one, Ralph. Anyone else got anything?
Hey, Matt.
Yo, hit me.
Matt. Oh, hello?
Yeah, Yvette, go.
Oh, hi. So right along with that, I always call it selling out of our own pocket.
Yes.
That's what we, right along with what we said.
Yeah, and in my live events, I do something, and I always pick a number. I just pick one randomly. And I always ask people, of hundreds of people in this room in a live event, and I'll be like, what is $84,762.47? Is it a lot of money? And everybody raises their hand. I'm like, it is a little bit of money. one person that's trying to be cool is like, no, it's not. I made $3 million last year. Whether you made $3 million last year or not, 84,760, whatever the number I just gave you, it's neither. And what Yvette's getting at is selling out of our own pocket. We have to stop looking at the world through our lens, right? Not to give Raf's story away, but that's something that Raf learned real quick. Raf had it difficult growing up, right? Raf had to get out of his own lane and be like, man, $3 million for an advertising campaign, it makes no difference of whether or not that's a lot of money to me, right? We have to not put our preconceived notions as we're doing these deals. It's not whether we think it's expensive or we think it's affordable. It doesn't matter what we think. It matters what the prospect feels. And notice what I didn't say. It doesn't matter what the prospect thinks either. It matters what they feel. If they feel like this is the right solution, let's make it as easy as possible for them to move forward. Great point, Yvette.
Be in that office environment, I have to control how much conversation I have with coworkers in case they have, like, if they go into that negative path, and just controlling my own mindset and just making sure I'm hanging out with the winners.
Yes, absolutely. I call it force field. In the eastonuniversity.com portal, we call it force field. You've got to put a force field up, right? And it's never good. Even if you hook up with those OGs that are doing well, I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the stuff that they're doing ain't so great. It's just that they've been around. You have to stay positive. You have to keep that force field up. As a manager, you got to make sure that you're removing those toxic people. It's not your price. It's not we're hearing all this stuff right now. It's the economy. It's interest rates. I was working with a franchise company that sells franchises. Like, well, business is really slow. We're not going to know if we're going to do the training, because the interest rates and everything. I said, you just out of curiosity, did anybody buy a franchise today in the United States of America? Oh, well, sure. But not as many as they bought 6 months ago. Okay, so you're saying one was sold. Oh yeah, a lot more than one. How many franchises do you think closed today? I don't know, 2,500? Great. What capacity do you guys have in how many businesses could you take on? We could do 3 a day. Okay. So you're telling me 2,500 closed and you only need 3. It's not like the world has exploded. No matter what the economy is doing, chances are people are still, even if they're buying less of it, they're still buying what you need. You have to do what you need to do to make sure they're buying it from you. The world of sales has completely changed. Today's customer has access to more information. Today's customer has more choices. The business world needs you. Studies have shown that 84% of salespeople fail to achieve their goals. The old sales training, well, it just doesn't work today. I'd like to teach you how to take the stress out of selling in a way that's meaningful to you and your customers and get you 7 times more business. I'll show you how the perfect sales process works. I'm going to walk you through everything from prospecting to closing the deal. I'm going to show you how to determine your prospects' wants and their needs so you can build value in your solutions. You will learn how to handle any objection or complaint. I'm going to show you how to connect with your customer so it's easy for them to buy from you. I've taught the best companies in the world and thousands of people just like you how to hit their targets. Selling is complicated. I'll simplify it for you. There's more competition than ever before. I'm going to show you how to be number 1. All of a sudden, your career is going to make perfect sense, even if you've never worked in sales or the corporate world before. And for the advanced sales professionals, I'm going to show you how to take things to the next level. Easton University is a new, simple, step-by-step process that's effective in any industry, large or small. You are about to become a certified master sales consultant. I'm Matt Easton, and this is Easton University.